Hey, so gaming is expensive, like really expensive. We're getting games that are $80. Console prices are going up 5 years after they came out. PC parts are expensive. Things are pricey, which is why I get excited when something like this hits the market. The SteelSeries Arctis Nova 3 wireless, specifically the Arctis Nova 3X for Xbox. It's the newest headset in the SteelSeries lineup, and I've been putting this to work on Xbox and PC over the last couple of days to see how it really stacks up against the competition, because it's coming in at $109. That's the same price as the entry-level Xbox wireless headset, and I've always said that's the best budget Xbox headset on the market, but the Nova 3 wireless borrows some features from the Nova 5, 7, and even the Arctis Nova Pro that make it worth talking about, especially if you're someone who jumps between platforms or likes to fine-tune your game audio. So let's get into it. Now, starting off, let's talk about the look and the build, because honestly, this is one of the Nova 3's strong points, and right out of the box, it feels light but solid. It weighs just 260 grams, which is noticeably a lot lighter than other wireless headsets in this price range, and that matters when you're a couple of hours into a session. Headset fatigue is real, but that should not be a problem with this one. The frame is built around flexibility with dual hinged arms, so it's incredibly bendable and can go in just about every direction, and out of the box it doesn't really creak or feel stiff like cheaper builds sometimes do, and we'll talk about why this is really important in the comparison section based on some experiences I've had with the cheaper entry-level headsets. Now, looking at the ear cushions, they're memory foam and breathable, so they don't trap in heat from your head like you might get from those faux leather ear pads that some of the cheaper headsets bring, but they're also removable, which is nice for cleaning or replacing them down the line. Now, one of my favorite parts of the SteelSeries headset lineup is the headband system, because you've got the usual adjustable sides where you can make them shorter or longer depending on the size of your head. For me, very large, big head. But it's also got that adjustable inner stretchy headband that spreads the weight evenly across the top of your head, so you dodge that headset fatigue and stay locked into the game for as long as you want. The Nova 3 wireless also has a detachable mic, not the retractable like what you would see on the Arctis Nova Pros, but detachable isn't really that bad either, and it's great to have the option to just have it not be a part of your headset experience. If you're not chatting or just want a cleaner look, you can pop it off and rock the headset like a regular pair of wireless headphones, which is super handy for switching between gaming and everyday stuff if you take these on the go or just use them in the office or however you plan on using them. But when it comes to the look, the Nova 3 wireless is simple. No wild designs, no RGB overload, just a solid looking headset, but they've got some different looks depending on what you're looking for with your setup. You've got the usual black and white, plus aqua and lavender if you want something that looks a little bit different, which also just happened to match the budget Rival 3 wireless mice colors that launched earlier this year, in fact just a couple of weeks ago, so you can get a matching aesthetic for your accessories without breaking the bank. Love some well-planned colorways. But now let's talk functionality, because the real value of a headset is really the audio quality that it's packing, both in the sound quality itself and the microphone. Now, the good news is the Nova 3 isn't just comfortable and flexible, it actually sounds great, especially for this price point. Now, what's crazy here is the Nova 3 wireless uses the same exact drivers that are in the Nova 5 and Nova 7, which is kind of wild considering how much cheaper this headset is compared to both of those options. Out of the box, the audio is punchy. You get solid low end for things like explosions or gunshots. Personally, I've been playing a ton of Splitgate 2 on these things, but the bass doesn't come at the expense of clarity. Footsteps, voice lines, little sounds in the distance, all of that still cuts through really well, and it's also tuned with spatial awareness in mind, because if you're an audiophile, the Nova 3 also supports Tempest 3D audio on PS5 or Microsoft Spatial Sound on Xbox, but out of the box, the sound just feels balanced. Now, if you want to tweak that, there's also the SteelSeries Companion app, and I first tried this with the SteelSeries Arctis Game Buds that came out last fall and was very impressed with how much it could really do if you really wanted to fine-tune your audio. Of course, you've got real-time control over your audio settings, but the big highlight here is the game-specific presets that SteelSeries has baked in. They've got custom profiles for everything from Fortnite and Apex to Call of Duty to Grand Theft Auto, Minecraft, FIFA, or EA Sports FC, whatever we're calling it now. And these aren't just random EQ tweaks, they're tuned by audio engineers and esports pros. They've tapped people like FaZe to do a couple of these to help highlight the stuff that actually matters in every single game, like your footsteps, your gunfire direction, the crowd ambiance if you're playing a sports game, all of those audio cues that can really give you an edge or make just an immersive experience all around. And yes, they did have a Splitgate setting, and switching things around isn't complex or complicated or time-consuming consuming. You just grab the app on your phone, tap a new profile, and boom, your audio updates instantly. No pausing, no disconnecting and connecting back to a PC to change things around, no digging through system menus. It just kind of works really well. And you can also set different EQ profiles for Bluetooth and 2.4 gigahertz wireless, so you can keep your game audio sharp and your mobile audio more relaxed or tuned for music, or if you play specific stuff like Call of Duty Mobile, you can have one profile ready there and then get it right back on your Xbox the way you had it before. Whatever you want. Now, I'll be real, your mileage might vary depending on how much you're really trying to dial in on the best audio settings for every game that you're playing. If you're just kind of setting it and forgetting it, this might not really be a big selling point, but there's a lot of customization here, and it's not something you usually see at something that's at this price point. But the sound quality isn't the only big perk, because the Nova 3 steps it up with cross-platform flexibility with a USB-C dongle. Now, obviously, Xbox and PC are the two options on the dongle, but you can throw this on a Steam Deck, a Switch, any of the PCs you might have. It's really got a lot of flexibility depending on how you like to play and where you like to play. This is a real plug-and-play solution that isn't locked into one ecosystem, which for someone like me that's bouncing back and forth between handhelds and consoles and the PC, it's a huge benefit. And again, at this price point, it's not something you see every time. And the Nova 3 has dual wireless modes with quick switch. That's 2.4 gigahertz with low latency gameplay through the USB-C dongle, and Bluetooth for mobile or a PC or another device. And you can jump between them with just the push of a button on the headset. Now, unfortunately, that's not dual connectivity, where you can listen to both a 2.4 gigahertz wireless source and a Bluetooth source at the same time in the same mix. And by no means is that a deal breaker at this point, and SteelSeries does the next best thing with that quick switch functionality, but it's something you should know going in if you're looking specifically for that setting where you could listen to your phone audio, watch YouTube, and have your game playing in the same headset at the same time. And just one more reminder, there are two different models of this headset that are out there, the Nova 3 and the 3X, with the X standing for Xbox, because Microsoft is still packing proprietary audio tech into their consoles that makes the Xbox ecosystem a little harder for third parties to tap into. So if you're wanting that Xbox support, just be sure to grab the right one with the 3X. Of course, the mic is a big part of the headset experience too, because nobody wants to be told their mic is dog water in a COD lobby. So here is a raw, unedited mic test of the Nova 3X wireless. No filters, no post-processing, just a straight listen so you can hear exactly what your audio is going to sound like in-game.
This is the Clearcast 2X microphone that delivers 32 kilohertz 16-bit audio. That's double the bandwidth of what you get from most gaming headsets, and what that means for you is way clearer, more natural sounding voice chat, even on a headset that's roughly about $100. Now, I'm not adding any filters, I'm not editing this in post. This is just what it sounds like plugged directly into my PC, coming through the mic, no changes.
Now let's talk battery life, because that might be the most impressive part of this headset. On 2.4 gigahertz wireless going through the USB-C dongle, you're getting over 30 hours of gameplay on a single charge, and then 40 on Bluetooth, but let's just call it 30 because you're probably going to be using the dongle. But what's crazy here is fast charge, because plugging this headset in for 15 minutes gives you up to 9 hours of use. That's wild. Like, if your headset is low, you plug it in, you go grab a drink and let the dog out, and you're good. No waiting, no being tethered to a console. That's the next best thing to literally having a limitless battery life, honestly. But looking past the build and the features, this is a budget headset. So the real question is, how does it stack up against other budget headsets? Because there are plenty of them on the market. And on the Xbox side of things, where I spend a lot of time, the main competitor is the Xbox wireless headset itself, like the main one from Microsoft. They're the same price, but they both pack different features that could make one come out on top over the other depending on what you're looking for. But the Nova 3X is really good. If you're gaming exclusively on Xbox and want something straightforward, the Xbox wireless headset still offers solid value, and it comes with Dolby Atmos right out of the box. You don't have to pay for it if you buy the Xbox wireless headset. That's a big perk of the newer model they dropped recently. It supports dual connectivity, so you can listen to your Xbox and your phone audio, laptop audio, tablet audio at the same time, whatever you're into, and that kind of dual connectivity is kind of rare at this price point too. But when you start branching out of the Xbox ecosystem, that's where the Xbox wireless headset kind of starts to show its limits a little bit. It doesn't have a simple solution for switching across platforms, and it relies pretty heavily on being in that Xbox ecosystem, which is, to be fair, why a lot of people would want to buy it. But then you've got the Nova 3X wireless with the USB-C dongle and Bluetooth 5.3 that lets you jump between platforms all without extra adapters or setup headaches, and the Nova 3X also has a real advantage when it comes to battery performance too. You're getting up to 40 hours on Bluetooth and 30 on wireless compared to 20 hours for the Xbox wireless headset, plus you've got fast charge that gives you about 9 hours of use from 15 minutes. That's a pretty crazy thing. So Xbox has shorter battery life and slower charging, which can be frustrating if you forget to plug it in when you're done playing, but the Nova 3X also wins out in audio customization too. That SteelSeries companion app is pretty wild, with more than 200 game-specific presets that are already baked in, and they're continuing to add more as new games come out, and you can swap between those live without leaving your game. So if you go from FIFA to Call of Duty or Fortnite to Apex, whatever you're playing, you can just find the right audio without having to tweak a ton of stuff. Now, to be fair, the Xbox wireless headset has basic EQ through the Xbox Accessories app, but it doesn't come close in terms of real-time flexibility or preset variety that comes pre-baked into the experience. And finally, there is the comfort and the flexibility, because the Nova 3X is noticeably lighter, around 260 grams, like we said, versus 312 on the Xbox headset. And that difference really shows up in those longer gaming sessions, because on the Xbox wireless headset, you can start to get that headset fatigue over the top. You've also got breathable ear cushions and that stretchy headband that help make the Nova feel less fatiguing to wear over time, and I would also bet that that flexibility is going to help this one hold up better over time too. I bought the 2021 model of the Xbox wireless headset the day that it dropped, and I love the headset. It's still a good one, but the connector piece where the ear cup meets the headband just gave out over time with a little pressure crack where I was pulling it apart to put it over my head for probably about a year and a half straight with gaming sessions every day. The Nova 3 wireless is just so much more flexible compared to the Xbox wireless headset that I don't see that happening at any point with anything on this design. But at the end of the day, both of those headsets are great for their price and they both sound great. But if you're not tied to Xbox and you want more platform freedom, longer battery life, better audio control with deeper customization, a lighter design, then yeah, I think the Nova 3X wireless wins out and gives you a lot more for the same amount of money. Of course, those are just my thoughts on the Nova 3 wireless, specifically the Nova 3X for Xbox. But big thanks to SteelSeries for sending these over for review, and it's awesome to see a company pack a ton of their top-end premium features into a headset designed to be great without breaking the bank. I would love to see more companies follow suit and do stuff like this. Obviously, there's a huge market for premium gaming audio, but the budget-minded folks deserve some love too. But let me know what you think down below. How are the Nova 3s looking? What do you think about the features and the colors? And would you want to give one of these a shot for yourself? I'd love to know your thoughts. And hey, if you're new here, you like what you see and what you hear, hit that subscribe button for videos like this every week and gaming news shorts throughout the week to keep you in the loop. And I'll catch you on the next one.